Hi, my name is Jordan King. I'm the STARS Program Coordinator here at AASHE, and this video is part of a series where AASHE staff highlight data quality tips and resources for credits in the latest version of STARS. Today, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to submit high quality and accurate STARS 2.2 content for OP11, the Sustainable Procurement Credit. During this video, I'll be referencing a few different resources that will be helpful as you work on this credit or others. These include the STARS Technical Manual, the My Submission section of the STARS Reporting Tool, the STARS 2.2 Review Template, and the AASHE Help Center. If you're new to STARS and don't know how to access some of these resources, check out our short video on navigating the resources and support section of STARS, which can be found under the section on Basics. The Sustainable Procurement Credit recognizes institutions that apply sustainability criteria when making procurement decisions. Part 1 awards points when an institution has written policies, guidelines, or directives that seek to support sustainable purchasing across multiple commodity categories institution-wide. Part 2 awards points for employing life cycle cost analysis when evaluating energy and water-using products and systems. Finally, points are awarded in Part 3 based on the number of products and/or service categories for which an institution has published sustainability criteria. We encourage institutions to pay close attention to this credit, partly because there's a very high likelihood that it will be reviewed, and also because it has one of the highest error rates in STARS, and we see a lot of misinterpretation in the credit criteria. You can find a summary of issues in one of two locations, either the Help Center credit article or the STARS 2.2 review template. For this video, we'll be walking through the STARS 2.2 review template. Like I mentioned, Part 1 is all about institution-wide policies that can be applied to multiple commodity categories. Examples include a stated preference for recycled products, an intent to support disadvantaged businesses, or a vendor code of conduct that sets social and environmental standards. In this and all sections, standards must go above and beyond federal mandates. For example, a non-discrimination standard for selecting suppliers is probably not sufficient since most countries have anti-discrimination laws in place. The main issue we flag in this section is claiming commodity-specific policies, which are already covered under Part 3 and should not be referenced under Part 1. Part 2 focuses on life cycle cost analysis. This is a method for assessing the total cost of ownership over the life cycle of a product or system. To count, responses should specifically mention life cycle cost analysis or something that aligns with this definition. We sometimes see responses that confuse life cycle cost analysis with a similar concept, life cycle assessment. However, life cycle assessment focuses on environmental impacts rather than total cost of ownership, so it does not count here. The most common issue we see in Part 2 is claiming that the institution employs life cycle cost analysis as a matter of policy and standard practice when evaluating all energy and water-using products, systems, and building components, without providing information that backs up this claim. Sometimes this means that the institution's response must be changed to the second option, that life cycle cost analysis is employed less comprehensively for certain types of systems or projects and not others, which earns partial points. The final section of the credit, Part 3, focuses on commodity-specific criteria. This section asks about published criteria for specific commodity categories such as chemical products, IT products, garments or linens, furniture, and others. Note that under version 2.2, the commodity categories have been adjusted slightly, and a new consumable office products category includes wood and paper products. In order to count, the response must cite sustainable purchasing standards specific to the commodity category in question. Reporting on practices is not sufficient if the criteria you're claiming are not published. A common mistake under this section is citing programs or initiatives rather than the published guidelines, standards, or policies. A second common issue is citing a published standard but not providing the documentation. We recommend copying the text of the standard into the descriptive field as well as providing a URL where this information can be accessed. For example, you can see in the Lawrence University recent report that they've provided a description of the sustainable policy or guideline, and there's also a link that takes you to the full technology sustainability policy. One of the most important things to keep in mind about this credit is that all content must focus on written and/or published policies, guidelines, and directives. Also, policies and directives adopted by institutions of which the institution is a part such as government or a university system, may count for this credit as long as the policies apply to and are followed by the institution. In fact, institutions belonging to a system are highly encouraged to review responses from other institutions within the system to ensure consistency. As a reminder, the AASHE Help Center credit article is a great resource for finding answers to frequently asked questions on this credit, as well as example responses from other institutions. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please post in the STARS community or reach out to stars@aashe.org. We're happy to help. Thanks and best wishes on your STARS journey.